The story begins with a high school student named Jin, who is an outcast among her peers. She keeps to herself, but always ends up being the target of the mean girls in her class. These girls constantly bully her and make fun of her for her looks. However, they don't know that she secretly leads a double life. On a typical day, we find Jin at home after being bullied all day at school. In the comfort of her room, she dolls herself up and takes pictures. Then, after spending hours on end editing the photos, she transforms herself into a completely new person. The edited picture she uploads is her secret persona named Genie. Under this name, Jin has gained over 770,000 followers on her social media. Her fans go crazy over her looks, and she even receives sponsorships and PR packages. The likes and attention that Genie gets is enough for Jin to keep herself happy. She isolates herself and doesn't really have friends in real life. However, her alternate persona has an online best friend named 1am_Sky, or Sky. One day during lunch, Jin sits alone at the rooftop of the school. She is soon joined by Jin Sung, who happens to be her only friend in the school. It's revealed that he is a trainee in an idol agency who recently transferred to their high school. Due to being an idol trainee, his classmates think he's too cool and stuck up, so he's left as an outcast like Jin, although in their own different ways. The two have been spending their lunchtime together ever since they became friends. Later that weekend, Jin Sung and Jin go out for lunch together. He then suggests they go to karaoke and arcade afterward. She declines his invitation and states that she has plans with her parents for dinner. However, her real reason turns out to be something else. Earlier that day, Genie had received lots of hate comments. They speculated that she uses Photoshop and heavily edits her photos since almost all of them are indoors. So, Jin goes to a cafe to take some photos as Genie with her wig and makeup. After spending hours on editing, she posts the photos and starts getting a lot of likes and comments from her fans. Later, Genie receives a text from Sky, who claims she hopes to meet her in real life someday. However, it turns out that Jin had claimed that she has severe anxiety that makes it hard for her to go out, and Sky believed her lies. Unexpectedly, she also receives a text from an anonymous user by the name of Cool Guy. He claims to have seen Genie and sends her a video of her at the cafe. The next day in class, Jin keeps getting more texts from the Cool Guy. She even tries to narrow out the person behind it, but is unable to come up with any possible culprit. She finds herself getting extremely anxious that someone has found out about her fake persona. Meanwhile, her bullies, Ha Nul and Sa Hee, don't let her catch a break and keep taunting her. During PE, the mysterious Cool Guy keeps texting her and even taunts her for looking so worried. Jin anxiously looks around but sees no one suspicious. Just then, the guy spills out her real name, causing her to instantly faint out of shock. Luckily, Jin Sung happens to be around and carries her over to the infirmary. Afterward, Jin can't stop worrying about the mysterious stalker potentially exposing her secret identity. She imagines how harshly Jin Sung and everyone in her class will react if the truth comes out. The next day at school, Jin anxiously waits for another message from the mysterious guy. Just as Se-hee snatches her phone away, she bites her and takes her phone back. Afterward, she finally musters the courage to respond to the guy and asks him what he wants from her. He calls her at the lounge after school, and she nervously waits for him there. Shortly after, someone shows up and it turns out to be none other than Jin Sung. Jin is devastated to discover that her only friend was the mysterious Cool Guy all along. However, he reveals that he was looking for her everywhere to go home together and eventually found her there. She then tells him that her mom would be picking her up and asks him to go home. The scene cuts off to a flashback of when Jin had just transferred to the high school. While sitting on the roof, she accidentally drops her phone to the ground. At that moment, Jin Sung, who happens to be walking by, picks up her phone. She quickly yells at him to not look at it, and he complies. Later on during lunch, Jin sits alone at the cafeteria and notices him eating alone as well. A few days later, she finds a quiet spot at the school's rooftop and decides to have her lunch there. Jin Sung walks in just moments later and tells her that it's his spot. Feeling awkward, Jin leaves and tries to walk away, but he stops her. The two then introduce themselves, and Jin Sung reveals that he just transferred a few days ago too. Back to the present, she spots Jin Sung still waiting downstairs and finds him suspicious. She sends him the mysterious guy text, only to see him pulling out his phone right at that moment. She believes that he saw her Genie account when she dropped her phone and has known the truth ever since. Afterward, she runs into Jin Sung once again on her way home. As they're walking, he sees a cat and runs over to feed it. At that moment, Jin remembers a photo of a cat on the stalker's account. All the signs point directly at Jin Sung, but she finds it hard to accept it. Later at school, Jin meets up with Jin Sung for lunch at the rooftop. During their conversation, he brings up the social media star Genie and how she liked one of his pictures. She speculates that she must have accidentally liked his post. However, she can't help but think that he's taunting her again. During class, Jin receives a text from the stalker again, asking her about the look of worry on her face. She quickly scans the room, but finds no one looking suspicious. While going home on a bus, she receives a text from the stalker again. He gives her a mission to wear pink lipstick that Genie had worn recently. He goes as far as to threaten her, claiming that he'll post her photos and expose her if she doesn't comply. The next day, Jin wears that lipstick to school in fear of being exposed. Han-Yul and Se-hee notice this and make fun of her in front of the whole class. However, the mysterious guy compliments her and says that she looks pretty. After school, Jin is heading home when she notices the stalker has posted a new picture. As she takes a closer look, she discovers that it's a photo of her at the bus stop just minutes earlier. She frantically gets off the bus and rushes back to the stop, only to see another post of a clue to where to find him. Following similar clues, she's eventually led to a house. Just then, she receives a message from her online best friend Sky on Genie's account. She asks for her help choosing the dress for a date with her boyfriend. While her world is being torn apart by some stranger, Jin still responds to Sky and helps her out. Moments later, she receives a photo of herself in front of the house. Just as she's leaving, someone stops her by slamming the door on her face. The person on the other side is revealed to be her class president, Ho-in. They head inside and Jin immediately asks how he knew it was her. Turns out, Ho-in is keenly observant and has every detail meticulously noted before he reaches a conclusion. He claims that Jin made foolish mistakes, beginning with her posting a photo in their school uniform. Ho-in knew Genie wasn't from their school, so he quickly realized that someone was pretending to be her. He then narrowed down the candidates who could have edited their bodies to make it look like Genie's. The most possible candidate turned out to be Han-Yul, who often used the sponsored items that Genie would post. He also found out that she received all those items from one person, Jin. However, all of this was still not enough for Ho-in to be convinced that she was Genie. Then, one day, Ho-in was asked to collect everyone's phone during the exam. Out of all those phones, only one of them received a ton of notifications like a celebrity. He suspected that it might be Genie's phone, since she had posted a photo that morning, so he waited to see who would pick that specific phone. To his surprise, it was Jin who did. She even had the same colorful band-aid that Genie was wearing in the picture. At this point, Jin finds herself more nervous than ever, and she asks him why he only brought this up now. Ho-in reveals that he had no proof to make her confess. That is, until she came to her favorite cafe and took pictures in her Genie makeover. Jin then nervously asks who else knows about this, and he claims that only he does. He admits that he wants to keep this secret to himself and enjoy it alone. Afterward, Ho-in mentions that his girlfriend is coming over in a while. His girlfriend is none other than Han-Yul, the bully. And her social media handle turns out to be 1am-sky, aka Sky. Jin realizes that this whole time, her bully at school has been her alternate persona's online best friend. The following day, he invites Jin to a cafe with her accessories. When they meet, he reveals that he booked the entire space for her so she could freely carry out her makeover and take pictures. He does this to supposedly witness her transform into Genie firsthand. The two have a fairly good time together, and he even asks if she wants to have dinner. In the meantime, Ha-Nul tries to call him but is unable to reach him. After arriving home, A-Jin receives a text from Jin-sung asking Genie about the photo she had liked earlier. Following this, Jin-sung tries reaching out to A-Jin, but she keeps avoiding him. It turns out that during her recent conversation with him as Genie, she had texted him if he wanted to try something naughty. This was only to see how he would react, but he ended up sending a video. This makes A-Jin believe that Jin-sung is no different than any other guy. After school, he stops her on the way and admits that he has something to say. She doesn't even bother to listen and claims that she's busy. However, Jin-sung tells her that she can come back when she's free and he'll be waiting for her at the park they usually go to. At midnight, A-Jin finally goes to the park and finds him waiting just as he had promised. Upon meeting, she confronts him that he's only pretending to be nice to her out of pity. Jin-sung is left puzzled by her assumptions. He then shares that his debut date as an idol has been set, so he'll be leaving for art school soon. She then congratulates him and leaves. Once at home, A-Jin tries to muster up the courage to open the video, but the fear of seeing Jin-sung's true colors keeps her from doing so. She then texts Sky, aka Ha-Nul, for advice, and she comforts her saying that it could all be just a misunderstanding. Meanwhile, Ha-Nul sits outside Ho-in's place, waiting to hear from him. The next day, A-Jin walks up to the rooftop where they used to hang out. There, she finds that he's left their favorite drink along with a birthday present for her. She opens up the present and finds a beautiful necklace inside. She also finds a birthday card in which he expresses his gratitude for their friendship. That night, she takes a walk down the park where they used to frequently go to. She sits down alone at their spot with their favorite drink and sets one aside for Jin-sung. A-Jin cries alone as she apologizes for how terrible a friend she had been. Meanwhile, Ho-in also happens to be at the park and finds A-Jin crying alone. After she leaves, he takes the drink she had left behind and heads home. Upon his arrival, he finds Ha-Nul waiting for him on his front porch. However, he does not even take a moment to speak with her and offers to walk her to the bus stop. Poor Ha-Nul believes that her boyfriend no longer loves her because she isn't pretty. The next day, she changes her hair to impress and grab Ho-in's attention. Unfortunately, he doesn't even look at her and walks away smiling at his phone. He gets up to the rooftop with his lunch and meets A-Jin, who's also eating alone. He keeps teasing her and she warns him not to come back to this spot ever again. Ha-Nul, on the other hand, follows Ho-in and finds him having fun with A-Jin. She is devastated to see her boyfriend, who has been ignoring her, laughing and playing around with the girl she hates. Later in class, she snaps at A-Jin and humiliates her in front of everyone. Poor A-Jin rushes to the restroom and cries as she recalls Ha-Nul's love to her best friend Genie. It turns out that Sky and Genie became friends long before A-Jin transferred to that high school. We go back in time to her first day of school, and she's mesmerized to see Ha-Nul in person. During a break, Ha-Nul asked about the watch she was wearing, and A-Jin let her keep it. One evening, A-Jin and her parents had gone to a family restaurant for dinner. During a conversation with the server, they learned that her daughter goes to the same high school as A-Jin. Her daughter turns out to be Ha-Nul, and she had asked her not to tell their classmates that her mother works at a restaurant. She and A-Jin become close friends from that day on. However, Se-hee couldn't bear seeing her friend getting closer to a newly transferred student that they barely knew. So she lied to Ha-Nul and said that A-Jin was talking to the other students about her house and her mother. Furious, she immediately went to confront A-Jin, and she has been bullying her ever since. Back to the present, she blocks Ha-Nul and deactivates Genie's account. She considers deleting the account, but then a new transfer student walks into the classroom. This girl looks just like Genie, and so she decides to keep the account after all.